We suggest that utilities actively develop a roadmap to address PFAS issues that they may be facing now and also to prepare for any upcoming regulations. So a roadmap is a systematic approach to understanding PFAS within your utility. More importantly, it's a multi-step process that involves sampling, data analysis, and interpretation, and effective communication in addition to other relevant activities. So the goal of the roadmap is to investigate upstream sources of PFAS, assess the presence of PFAS within your plant, explore opportunities for source reduction, and adapt to changing regulations and legislation that might emerge in the future. The roadmap includes multiple steps, each with its own set of yes and no answers that guide the decision-making process. These decisions lead to cost-conscious investigations and further research. The roadmap should clearly define a sampling objectives and methods. First, we need a standard operating procedure for sampling, which would include details such as where to collect it, the types of materials, precautions, blank shipping, and so on. We must also consider the cost involved in conducting these samples. Cost effectiveness is crucial in this process. This helps you determine the level of analysis required. You could opt for a simple spot check, which will involve a pretty basic analysis. However, as you progress, you will want to identify sources, conduct mass balance calculations, or investigate biotransformation within your plant. If you're evaluating treatment effectiveness, you might need to collect more samples or use a more advanced sampling technique. And if you don't detect significant levels of PFAS in the initial sampling, you may consider extending the testing interval or sample frequency to gain a more comprehensive dataset. However, if you do detect PFAS, you take a more aggressive approach and begin to investigate upstream sources to identify potential sources of contamination. Maybe you begin examining some source control measures. Forensics is a powerful tool that can help identify industrial dischargers responsible for significant contributions of specific PFAS into your water inflow. The goal is to differentiate the sources of PFAS within a complex mixture, such as the one entering a wastewater treatment plant. It could originate from various sources, including industrial facilities, cooking materials, and personal care products. Once the sources are identified, step 3 involves treatment and further evaluation of the sources to determine the most cost-effective treatment options. We recommend a 3-tier approach for PFAS management: source control, optimizing within a plant, and then looking at the end-of-pipe treatment systems. Remember, just doing testing and sampling are not a roadmap. Road mapping is a conscious decision-making process driven by data. The roadmap can also be referred to as a decision matrix or decision tree, as it helps determine the next steps based on the data received in the previous steps. Before embarking on this roadmap, you must have a clear understanding of how you disseminate this information and interact with the public. The principles of effective communication are simple. Be proactive, stay ahead of the messaging, and ensure that everyone involved is informed and engaged. You must understand your purpose and your audience. Clear, honest, and consistent communication is essential.